Hello. Oh, wow. You look great.
Can you hear me? Hi, how are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing amazing. You look amazing.
Yeah, it's just, girl, this is just day drag. I
Uh,
couldn't put all that, I can't put all that stuff on when I'm trying to do the show. She wants me to try to be as normal as possible for the talk shows. For drag, it's a different thing. But for you, you're a celebrity.
oh, thank you.
Huh.
I appreciate.
You look beautiful.
Thank you.
The
I've
makeup
only
is,
been doing drag a year, so like it's a lot on me to want to better myself. So, I've come a
Mhm.
long way, most
Okay.
definitely.
So I just want to say it's nice to meet you. I'm Stephanie Stevens.
And it's
Uh,
nice to meet
and
you. I'm Tsunami Rayne.
okay, and I produce Pronoun TV, and I produce a lot of different things, and I do a lot of different things. And I'm always open to do new things, and I'm going to be on the road doing all kinds of crazy things. And my life is kind of exciting and boring at the same time. But I'm finding that we're making a difference with this show, so we decided to push it a little bit further. And they've got me doing different things now that they think is going to make the show 1 full hour of
Right.
just different stuff. And they really want me to focus on the talk show part because the drag is just the entertainment, and that's easy and simple. So what I'm going to say is, if you feel uncomfortable about any of the questions that I ask you, you can just say, I'll pass.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Also, this is your story. It has nothing to do with me. I'm just hosting the show, and I'm going to hopefully we can educate and inspire other people.
Most definitely.
Okay. Now, this show will air in clips and in full all over social media until the day we both are dead.
Okay. Sounds
Okay.
great.
Just so you know. All right. So, what we're going to do now, I'm going to introduce the show, and then we're going to get started.
Okay, sounds good.
Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Five, four, three. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Millennials 420. This is a brand new programming focusing on the young people of our community. And today on our show, and to kick off Millennials 420, it's such a great thing that young people are reaching out to be on the show. Today, we have one of the powerhouses of young drag. We see her all over social media. They're calling her the new and sensational replica of Kennedy Davenport. We don't know if that's one of her inspirations for what she does, but she'll tell us that along her on her way with the show. I just want to say welcome to the show, Tsunami Rain. Girl, you are flipping everywhere.
Yes, hello. It's so great to be here. I've I love the art of drag, and I love what it brings to the table. When you said about Kennedy Davenport, yes, she is a big inspiration of my drag. I've always looked up to her ever since, I had graduated high school. Of course, she had just been on the show, and it took me about 12 years to actually put myself together in drag and to be able to express my artistic skills and who I am as an entertainer. And it's been a great ride so far.
Okay. Now, I have to ask this because young people will be watching, and we want to make sure that it's clear from the beginning. What are your pronouns?
My pronouns are he and him. When I'm in drag, she and her.
Okay. Now, Tsunami Rain, where are you from?
I am originally from Roanoke, Virginia, but I am currently living in Huntsville, Alabama.
Okay. Now, I can imagine Huntsville, Alabama, drag is not New York City drag.
Correct.
And the opportunities for you in Huntsville are not the same as they would be for you if you were in New York City or Miami or Los Angeles or one of the big cities, San Francisco, places where drag thrives. Now, I know that during the day, you are a registered nurse.
I am actually a dental assistant.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so I work on teeth all day. I am a teeth fanatic. I love it. I get to
Mhm.
see the beginnings of, people that feel very insecure with the way they look, and then the outcome of it, which is such a blessing to see and to be able to have those moments with the patients that we have. It's a great experience.
Wonderful. Well, it's great that being as young as you are, and you said that it's only your first year being in drag, and for you to have an aspiring career, and understanding that you have to work because I'm sure very clearly you watch Kennedy Davenport, show you that, drag is not easy and you have to work very hard to get very little until you become successful at it or very masterful at the art of, what your craft is and what you do with it.
Yes, finding the craft. So when I started, I basically didn't know what I was doing. Okay, so I did not. I looked like a walking stick out there on stage, didn't know really, you know, how to perform correctly. So, my first song was Accept Me for Who I Am. Uh,
Mhm.
and it was a great experience, which made me want to compete with myself and say, guess what? I'm going to go up against you each and every time that I perform to better myself. So, watching what Kennedy Davenport has done, Sapphire Dupree has done. If you don't know who Sapphire Dupree is, she is another queen that dances, and she is a good sister of mine. So we've been in communication a lot of, what can we do from, okay, you've done this, but how can you elevate now? So that it's brand new each and every time, and or you're becoming stronger as an entertainer. So yeah, um,
Well,
it's been an adventure.
I just want to say, first of all, about you being a dental assistant, it's really important that young people understand that they need to have some source of income besides drag to make sure that their livelihood of drag can thrive. And
Correct.
you seem to be doing that quite well. And I like the fact that you understand that you need to work and educate yourself because like you said, elevate your drag, do something different. That means that you want to learn. And this is a very powerful thing in drag and in the fact that we're human beings and we need to work to live
Yes.
and to, buy things that we want and entertain. Now, now that you say that you've only been doing drag for a year, my focus is I'm watching all of the young people. Now, I'm going to say this because she told me that for years, the last few years I've been doing the show, I've been tiptoeing around a lot of the questions that should be asked. So now I'm just going to be very direct with the questions and you can answer it and let me know. Now, we know the pushback with a lot of these LGBT cute laws that are coming out now. I'm thinking this is my theory, and I've been in the business 36 years. I'm seeing young white boys on camera, whether they're femme or non-femme, impersonating women that is not of the norm or what we would consider the norm. Like, of course, we see the bearded queens. And then we see the very young queens or young men putting on makeup and looking very thin. Now, we know that most men in general, whether they're black or white, don't want to see their male children in drag, and especially at that age. What do you say to that?
In response to your question, I believe that if a person who wants to be a drag entertainer or an entertainer, period, and or not an entertainer, but wants to be who they are, they should not have to worry about what others say. People are always going to bring you down, but that's
Mhm.
when you need to be able to pick yourself up as well. So
Mhm.
um, just being positive all the time. If you are dealing with a family member like a father that does not accept it, there are going to be people out there that are going to accept you for who you are. That's where you make your own family bonds.
Hmm. Okay. Now, I want to talk a little bit more in depth about that because she really focused, when she was writing the questions for me, she really focused on looking at a lot of the comments that were under a lot. Let's say James Charles, his a lot of his comments on his pages are in real negative.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Jeffree Star, same thing. And then, of course, a lot of the young influencers, such as a couple of the really young guys I see. I can't remember all of their names, but she really focused on that because it seems to be causing a rift between young men and their fathers.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is, for me, I'm not speaking for fathers, but I'm just saying from what she said she was reading and the negative comments about. I'm sure you've seen lots of the young guys online. Let's just say Sugar and Spice as well. Of course, they're two young people. I met them when they were here in Toronto, and they're two young people, but you never see their parents
Mm-hmm.
on the videos. Now, for you to say, as a young person, wouldn't you want your parents to be in your videos to show some support? We're not saying exploit it, but show that they are, okay with you, pursuing the art of drag or just expression of just feeling like this is who you are.
Um, so through my experience, I my family isn't around. So with that being said, with my dad, he does not really accept what persona I am, because I believe that he hasn't been able to see me. Um, but I believe that you know if you have family or anybody that does support you, I believe that you should be able to say, look, they support me. I'm going to post it. I do agree. I think that that would be a great way to show this younger generation that there are people that accept you for who you are, whether they're family or not, and
Mhm.
you should be proud of it and be able to share it with the world. Yes.
Okay. Now, living in Huntsville, Alabama, why move from Virginia to Huntsville? I would think that would be a little bit more risky with what you do. Or was it the opportunity of your job that you do during the day?
So actually, I moved from Virginia, and I've lived in all sorts of different places in the United States. But to move from Virginia, there was a lot of negativity. I am not a negative kind of person. I'm very positive. And if I feel like there is so much negative energy that I cannot function, I will move. To be
Mhm.
here in Alabama, it is basically, sweet home Alabama. People do make you feel like family, and that's why I love living here.
Okay, wonderful. Now, what's the drag scene like there for you? Can you make a living?
I believe you could if you were in Birmingham. But
I
where I'm
mean,
at in Huntsville, they really don't have a drag bar, like a drag club, like a gay club. So
mhm,
they usually use like bars and that kind of thing, which is great.
mhm.
I really appreciate that. But to make a living off of it here, no.
Okay.
You would
Now,
have to travel. You would have to travel outside the states to be able to actually make money.
mhm. Now, have you been to Charlie Brown's Cafe? Cafeteria, well, what is it? Cafe?
I have
Oh,
not.
it's bar. Okay. Well, you've heard of it.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Now, I've known her for about 40 years. I've known her. And I think she's going to be on the show soon. But we'll talk more about her when I catch up with you in another year to see where Tsunami Rayne is. Now, I want to just ask a couple of more tough questions and then we'll get into the light part of it, okay?
Okay. Yes.
What is the good part of your drag being Tsunami Rayne, and what is the bad part about the whole business of drag for Tsunami Rayne?
So let's talk about the pros.
Okay.
So the pros with Tsunami Rain is she is always about helping people. I do run a drag brunch and a drag bingo once a month. And with those, Tsunami raises money for nonprofits and charitable places to be able to donate for whether it's the crisis of North Alabama.
Mhm.
I have also we are about to raise money for Love Huntsville, um, which um, which I'm so blessed to be able to help raise money for all sorts of different nonprofits that are in need, because there are a lot of different nonprofits out there that nobody's even heard of. So that's one thing that Tsunami loves to do. Um,
Mhm.
I am a leader. I want to be a leader because I want to help anybody and everybody that wants to be in drag or just wants to be a woman, if they want to transition to a man. I am always going to be there. I'm going to be there to help them. One bad thing is I deal with protesters here in Huntsville, Alabama, and they are constantly trying to bring us down, trying to get us canceled, and that's one con that Tsunami Rain has to deal with. And it's really difficult when you don't have a support system of the community to back you up with those protesters. So those are my pros and my cons with Tsunami Rain.
Mhm. Well, to be honest, I think that you're a great performer. I think once you get that focus on and that more of that control of what you decided that you want to do with your drag, I think you're going to make a great difference in the world for the young people. And the fact that you're staying visible and focused, you're keeping your eye, like they said, on the prize. And in
Mm-hmm.
general, it's sometimes it's not just about the money, it's about making a difference and then the money will come. Now,
Yeah.
I would say that this is just me. You're a young person now. I would say you should move. You should move to somewhere where you know that your drag can have a bigger voice. And with that being said, meaning that you can do more for your nonprofit organizations because you will be in a space with more opportunity and more resources. Now, also, I think that you should get into the pageant scene. And I think that that's where you should try to throw your hat to sort of get you some of that experience. And you can learn from the older entertainers that have been in the business a long time. Because at the end of the day, we can't just be out here entertaining and not educating.
Amen.
So I just want to say that let's talk a little bit about your family. Now, where you say you don't get along with your father, but where's your mother?
So my mother is in Roanoke, Virginia, and she doesn't work right now. She's basically trying to get on disability currently at the moment. We do contact each other daily. She supports me. She's always there, and she always tries to pick me up, even when I'm having bad days. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've said this many times. I'm going to say this to you as a young person because this is just the way that I am. And never did I avoid any of these things. I have been around drugs all my life in this entertainment business. I've been around it my entire life. I have never smoked a cigarette in my life, and I have never done a drug in my coming up 62nd year on this planet. Never.
Congratulations. I'm proud of you.
I have traveled all over this planet, but I think when you're not interested in something, you just don't do it. And I've had every queen in the world offer me every drug in the world because, that's where the party is. But I do drink. I do drink. And sociably, I'm not going to say I've always been responsible with drinking, but I don't drink and drive. Well, let's say
right. Amen. That's the best.
So now I want to just say that, it's great talking to you and looking at you, how beautiful you are, and you paint it so well means that you actually thought about this. And it's great that you decided to do the show because I think that this will be something that will be beneficial to you down the road. But with that being said, let's talk a little bit about you and the haters. I see that you used to post a lot about, I guess having run in, not just with the protesters, I'm talking about the actual performers that watch you. And the fact that you've only been in the business 1 year and you are thriving.
So about the haters. So ever since I started, there was no hate. But once I found the craft and the way that I perform, and with me going out of state, I feel like it had become an issue with a lot of jealousy. But I am out here working nonstop. I am making these connections and I am keeping these connections, and I am on time. I make myself aware. I am very visible, and with posting every single day, I think it's great advertisement for yourself, and as you should.
That's true.
And a lot of entertainers that I see that have so much potential, they need to advertise themselves more. The more advertising, the more people see. Even if they don't click, they're still watching, whether they want to watch you succeed or they want to watch you fail. But you always got to be positive and realize that people are always going to be jealous of you. If you're going above and beyond of where they stand. But you always have to remember, are you doing this for yourself or are you doing this for them? If you're doing it for yourself, don't worry about the haters. And that's basically what I want people to understand is you don't always have to be in a negative space. You don't have to sit here and be in competition with somebody else. You're always going to be in competition with yourself.
That's amazing, Tsuami. This is what the show is all about. Mellinials 420, young people telling the truth, expressing how they really feel. Now, let's get into talking about a relationship. Now, you're a young person with a serious job, and drag is fun. And with drag and fun comes those easy opportunities of overindulgence, sometimes recklessness. And of course, at the end of the day, entertainers are always the party. Now, how do you balance that? I mean, with trying to, maybe you want a relationship down the road, or you just focus on your career?
So I'm actually in a relationship. I've been in a relationship for close to 2 years. It's going to be 2 years on New Year's. I think it's a very great balance to have somebody that supports you in what you do and what your visions are.
Mm-hmm.
To be able to trust somebody is very big, definitely in the gay community. But
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, I balance my work life, my drag life, and my personal life. And it's a struggle. It's a struggle, but at the same time, you have to make time.
Okay. Well, I mean, I live alone, and I had a boyfriend for a very well, partner for 7 years, and I decided that some this needed more attention. And my agent was in my face every minute about this needs attention because it's getting attention. And if you want a secure future down the road, you've got to make a decision about what's more important for your future.
Exactly.
You can always find a man, I mean, so and all that stuff. So, but now now that you've talked about that, the relationship, how does your partner feel about the drag? Did he fall in love with you as Tsunami or as I forgot what your male name is?
Bradley. My name is
Bradley.
Bradley Allen.
Mhm.
So me and Michael met 2 years ago around this time in November. And actually, he met me as Bradley. And about 6 months later was when I was um, I was in the feels of wanting to step my toes into drag, honey. Yes, and it's I love drag. I love drag so much, girl.
Well,
Um,
drag is a fabulous thing. It's fabulous. But go ahead, I'm listening.
yes, and at the beginning it was kind of like, okay, so what is your vision? And we don't want you to go out there and look a fool. But
Mhm.
everybody looks a fool, girl, when we all start drag. Let me tell you, we do. So I went out there.
Trust me, I was a hot mess.
I showed what I had. People liked it. They were like, well, let's get you in this show, this show, this show, this show, this show to help you grow. And ever since then, here she is, and she is living one of the best lives she could ever ask for. So,
Okay. Well, sometimes when you're in a relationship and guys meet you as a man, and then you start changing, the first thing they start thinking, well, are you going to start taking hormone pills and become a woman and all these kind of things? Did you guys ever have that conversation?
so I love me as Bradley. When I put this wig on, I am Tsunami.
Okay.
So I I love who Bradley is, and I'm always going to stay Bradley. I've never once thought about hormones or trying to transition. But
Mhm.
for anybody that wants to, I'm always here to sit there and
Mhm.
help you in any way possible I can, raising money for you if you need. I will always be a voice for you if you need support. And if you just need to talk about things, I'm always here.
Mhm. Now, I want to ask a really um, I'm going to just ask this question because I think it's relevant to you as a young person and to a lot of the other performers that aspire to maybe be on RuPaul's Drag Race. Now, listen carefully. How relevant is RuPaul show now that you think than it was 15, let's say 10 years ago? How relevant do you think it is right now?
I think it is very relevant. RuPaul is a powerhouse. He knows what he's doing.
Okay.
I think on the other hand, it can hurt drag queens that are on the show, and it can also benefit. So with
Okay.
that being said, if I ever want to try out for the show, I'm going to have to make myself very aware that this could end you or it can broaden opportunities for you. So
Mm-hmm.
so I think RuPaul is very relevant still. I mean, he's winning awards. His
Mm-hmm.
voice is so strong in helping people by so much.
Okay.
I think
Well, the
so
reason,
personally.
okay. The reason I asked is because, I mean, like I said, is the reason I can work all over the world is because of my many years of experience. And I have an agent that can get me work anywhere, anytime, or we can rent a theater and fill it up easily. So, but down the road, I'm thinking you've had all these contestants on the show, and most of them we never hear about.
Yeah, you
And
hear about him no more.
yeah, and where is the money going to come from to pay those enormous fees for the for the voices that are left? Such people like we understand Bianca Del Rio can do her own thing and Trixie Mattel, they can do their own thing. But Kennedy can probably get a booking, bookings here and there. But at the end of the day, you come from these small communities that remember paying you $50, sometimes no money at all, or just some drink tickets or for tips. And now you're going to go back into your community once you leave the show and say, well, I was on RuPaul's Drag Race. I need $3,000. That ain't going to happen.
No. And the thing about that, and the queens need to understand, it's not about the money. Y'all need to quit thinking it's about the money. It is about making connections with people, meeting people, and enjoying the moments that y'all are in. It's not about just getting paid $3,000. Hey, I just performed. Bye. See you later. No,
Mhm.
because then at the same time, what's going to happen? Okay. What is going to happen when you don't have all these major bookings no more?
Which is going to come to a
Like
quick end.
Trinity K. Bonet, she is back in Ohio. She's back in I think it's Cincinnati, Ohio, and she is on cast at a place now. Like it runs dry really quickly, so you have
Mhm.
to keep your bridges built because if you're going to burn these bridges, oh, because you got on Drag Race, I mean, it can ruin you. You have
Mhm.
to always and that was the pros and cons with Drag Race. With the question that you had asked was, with relevant being relevant and everything like that, but at the same time RuPaul saw something in these queens in which wants them to be on the show. But
Mhm.
when you make a fool of yourself and you become a mean queen, that is what's going to hurt you. So you
Mhm.
always want to bring a light into somebody else's darkness because they will remember that.
Well, I'm going to tell you, be honest. I auditioned out of 2 years ago. I auditioned 2 years in a row, and I wasn't ready for that because that's not who I was. So I didn't put the audition tape together right. And to be honest, I was fighting with my agent constantly about it. And I think I didn't get on the show, but RuPaul kept at me because he said, you need to be on this show. And
Mm-hmm.
this will help your pronoun TV and everything. And then once she came from Los Angeles and sat down and talked to me, my agent, we talked about that. And then she says, I don't want you to audition for the show anymore. And I said, well, what changed your mind? She said, don't worry about it. You just keep going. Something
Mm-hmm.
good is happening for you. So you just keep going doing what you're doing. And we're going to leave it at that. Don't ever audition for that show again. And that's what
Right.
she told me. So I said, oh, I shouldn't have did it in the first place because I wasn't ready. I could have done a lot better audition tape than I did. But because, I was trying to see if it would fit in with pronoun TV.
Yeah.
And then when we really looked at the big picture, it didn't play into what we have planned in the equation for down the road. So it was a good thing that we didn't do it again. It was a good thing. But I'm glad that you're talking openly and honestly about it because you see what we sat around and we talked about. Because we're thinking, how are you going to be able to pay your rent, your phone, your cable, your insurance, your car note, food, clothing, and who's going to be booking you and flying you? Who's going to be like you said, it is you've got to these girls have got to really wake up.
Yeah, because what they say, people will remember.
Mm-hmm.
So be careful of what you do and what you say. Like when Tsunami is here, she gets to a club. I know I'm not wearing nails right now, but when
It's
she
all
is at
good,
a club,
girl.
huh?
It's all good. It's all good.
So
I don't have no nails on either.
twinsies.
It's all good. But
But
go
like
ahead.
when I'm at a club, I will wait to drink until after I'm done performing. Unless I'm at my home bar, which is in Eureka Springs, Arkansas. It's called Eureka Live. I am
Mm-hmm.
on cast there, and they always bring shots. And I'm like, okay, I always dance my first number, girl, so I really don't need to be, getting a little messed up.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm very I pick and choose my battles.
Wonderful. Well, I just want to say thank you for being on Millennials 420 today. Now, what do you plan on doing with Tsunami Rain now? What do you plan on doing? What's the next steps you're going to take to elevate Tsunami Rain? What do you have planned for your
So
brand?
so there's a venue where I do my where we do our drag brunches and our drag bingo. We are working on a couple of projects, which I can tell you inboxed details,
Okay.
but which I'm not able to say yet. But it does have to do with cameras and that kind of thing. Um, Another thing is, trying to get the divide of our community together, to
Mhm.
be a full community. And when I say full community, it means gay, straights, all of the above, going past the state line. We are all a community. Going
Mhm.
across the border to you, we are all a community. Just because we have all these lines doesn't mean that we just stay within our city, our local.
Mhm.
Our community expands farther than we know. So we always have to think about that.
Mhm.
So I want where I see Tsunami performing everywhere in the United States, making these connections, um, and helping people that are in need. That's basically what Tsunami is. She wants to help as much as she can.
Well,
And you know what? If that means breaking her hand, breaking her foot, honey, I did that the first 4 months into my drag career, girl. I broke my foot and my leg doing all these stunts. And let me tell you, I won't back down.
mhm.
I will keep on.
Now, you said that many of I can't remember the second girl that you're inspired by that is around you all the time, and Kennedy Davenport is a great inspiration to you. And the other one, I think you said Sable, is her name Sable?
Sapphire Dupree.
Oh, Sapphire. They're great inspirations to you. Um, I'm sure we're going to see great things from you, Tsunami Rain. And it was great talking to you today here on Millennials 420. And
Yes.
Um, Tell the girls about us here, and we want to get everybody on the show, whether you're cooking or you're just shaving or you're brushing your teeth and you want to say hello, pop by. This all helps educate our community, connects us in a lot of ways that people think that we just like to party and carry on, but we live our lives just like they do. We want to go to school, we want to be doctors and
Go to
lawyers.
school, graduate, graduate. It will
Yes,
help you.
very important. And I want to say thank you so much for being on the show today. You're a great inspiration. I love watching you perform. Go out there and just let them have it, and do what you can for our community, especially during the holiday time. Reach out to the LGBT community because a lot, from housing to food. I mean, we can't do everything, but we can. The littlest things makes a big difference.
Yes, ma'am. And I forgot to say one thing, Miss Stephanie. So you said that you see me stepping into pageants and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I am the current reigning Miss Rocket City Pride, which is in Huntsville.
Oh.
I am looking forward to doing bigger pageants
Mhm.
soon next year, maybe. So just keep a lookout.
Yes, well, I know I can see big things coming from Miss Tsunami Rayne. I see it. She's working hard towards it. You when you really watch people, you can tell how they're changing. A lot of things have changed about me now that my agent has kind of kicked me in the butt, and because I used to be a lot, ridiculous when I was young. I was letting them have it, and then
Yes.
I went and I'm just going to say I had a stroke and almost died, and that really messed my mind up and put me in a tailspin and all that kind of stuff. It took me a long time to recover, but everything is working now, and
Good.
by the grace of God, and things are kicking in. That entertainer in me is coming back. That hunger, that thing that I used to have. Even
Hmm.
my sister said that. My sister said, "You're changing. You're changing. You that old thing that we used to see. That get up and go is coming back there, and that's a good thing." So I just want
Don't
to say,
let the fire dull. Don't let the fire
mhm.
dull now.
Oh, I won't. I mean, I'm by myself now, so I can focus and then just move along with the projects. And I'm very excited about what I'm doing. I'm passionate about this, so that keeps me moving in the right direction. And of course, I'm going to be traveling very soon, so you never know where I might pop up.
Yes. And I
Because
hope to come to Canada and
mhm,
meet all of you and definitely you in person
mhm.
sometime soon.
Well, you never know. Miss Yosmin Star Burke is up there in Alabama, somewhere up there. She's up there, Miss Continental Elite, Miss Yosmin. Um,
Hmm.
she's up there somewhere. So you never know. I might pop up somewhere. Um, with
Yes.
that being said, I want to just say thank you so much for doing the show today. Um, Tsunami Rain, and I'm going to do this here in closing. What your advice to the young influencers that are actually online? What's your advice to young people, filming themselves online, putting themselves out there online?
So, a good quote that I heard a long time ago, which today I say to myself when I'm going through certain struggles or through different situations, is don't let anyone determine your own self worth.
Hmm. Wonderful. I just want to say thanks, Tsunami Rain, for being on Millennials 420 today. She has educated us a lot about many different issues that we wanted to find her um, answers to. As a young person, she's more in tune with the young community than we are. So we wanted to hear it from her, and hopefully somewhere along the line we will educate and inspire some other young people out there, just in case they decide they want to be an amazing performer, entertainer like Tsuami Rayne. And her future is very bright in the world of entertainment, and we see lots of great things coming. And we're not just saying that. You can just see it in her that she has a desire to help, to make a difference, and to really entertain you. So make sure you guys get out there to watch her shows because she's doing it. And we want to just say kudos to Miss Kennedy Davenport and to Miss Sapphire Rayne for being inspirations in her life because they made a really big difference. And we want to just say congratulations to her in her 1 year of drag, doing so well, and in her current relationship that she's had of 2 years. So it means that she's got a lot on her plate, but she's balanced. And as a young person, most young people are reckless, but Tsunami Rayne is she's in it for the long run. Like they say, here comes the hurricane.
Here come the hurricane.
Oh. Thank you for being on the show today. And we will talk again, Miss Tsunami Rayne, and just keep
and
being
if you ever come to Huntsville, Alabama, stop by Regali Cupcakery and have you a good old cupcake.
Oh, I will. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, she's fabulous.